Hey guys, it's DC here. Today I've got Katie, also known as Insider. Oh my god, I forgot the second part of your name. PhD.
As in the doctorate.
Yeah.
Not the programming language. That happens a lot. I have to put it in all the time to my video. And actually, good. I've done a sponsorship for Integrity, and I have a link for Katie, InsiderPhD and InsiderPHP, just in case.
Oh my god. Well, it's good to have, I guess, as a backup. Yeah, just in case. Today, I'm going to be asking a bunch of random questions followed by some bug bounty questions, so stick around until the end for those. But first, how's your day been so far? I think it's like midnight there for you at the moment.
It's 1 a.m. It's been good, yeah.
Hell.
At the moment, so my like day job is that I'm a PhD student, hence the PhD, not the PHP. Although I am a PHP programmer, which is rather ironic, actually.
That worked out well.
But I've got like a big paper I'm working on at the moment.
Yep.
So I've been writing up papers all day. So that's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm prepping for a big sponsorship meeting. It's just the reality of doing a PhD. You think it's going to be doing science every single day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of writing.
It turns out not to be so much. Yeah, just a lot of writing. Gee, okay. I don't know if I'd ever be, I don't know, would you recommend a PhD or is the stress a lot?
100%.
Yeah?
If this is, like, if you want to do research and you're like, this sounds really cool, it is the best job ever. I basically work whenever I like. I get actually quite a lot of time off to pursue stuff like bug bounties.
Yep. I
really enjoy teaching, hence the YouTube channel. Yep. I love research and just being able to work on stuff no one's ever worked on before. I got hopefully some really interesting research on bug bounties coming out in like an academic setting, kind of like a meeting of the minds. 100%, a PhD is amazing. You have to make sure you get the right supervisor because it has to be like a collaborative effort.
Right.
But like actually doing a PhD, fantastic, best experience I've ever had.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. You've heard it here first. Do a PhD, everyone. And learn PHP as well so that you can put them together. All right, I'm going to kick off the Quickfire 5 random questions. So first one is...
I'm ready.
Imagine this. There are now 25 hours in a day. How are you going to spend that extra hour?
Ooh. So I'd love to say I'd be super productive. I'd be like, yeah, that's an extra hour for making my YouTube channel videos better. That's an extra hour for doing more bug bounties. That extra hour would be for knitting because it is the main thing I do to relieve all the stress. Doing bug bounties is really stressful.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
right.
I make lucky socks.
Yeah, lucky socks.
They get me bugs. Every single time I found a bug, not even lying, I've always been wearing lucky socks.
I'm gonna see some of these lucky socks. Do you have some handy?
I've got some.
Please.
Oh, yes, I do. Okay, 1 second.
Oh my god,
get some lucky socks.
We're getting lucky socks here.
Okay, I got a few pairs here. So we have the original. Got my first bug with these ones.
Right. Damn, those are good socks. You made those socks.
Yeah, they're all hand knit from scratch. Some more purple. These are the socks that got me the bugs at the live hacking event in Vegas. This is... It's wrong inside out, but this is yarn from Vegas, so I'm hoping this will have some lucky properties.
Some lucky 777 properties, yeah. Damn, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Most people go with sleep, but you're out here making lucky socks. That's amazing. Damn, all right.
So it's stress relief, 100%. Like, if you ever need stress relief, getting involved in, like, crafting stuff, like knitting or crochet or whatever else.
Yep.
Good for stress relief.
Way to go. Okay, I might take your word on that. I've had a lot of stress recently, so might start knitting. Yeah. Okay, next question. Science fiction, love it or hate it?
Indifferent, mainly because I prefer like non-fiction to fiction books. Yep. And I have basically no opinion on fiction books because I don't read them.
Right, okay.
I mainly read kind of investigative journalism. Don't ask me why. It's just interesting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Next question. What movie can you watch over and over again? That's tricky because I think I get bored of the same movie like 3 times. So we'll say like, once after another. So just 2 times in a row.
Oh my god, this is so difficult. I'm just trying to think about like what I would watch. Oh god.
We can expand it to like a specific TV episode. If there's one episode that you could watch like a few times.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any documentary Louis Theroux has made, he's a British journalist who goes in situations mainly with anxiety. Not gonna lie, he's a very anxious person. He portrays anxious energy. And I just love it. It's a Brit going into a weird things in America and being like, this seems a bit weird. So I could watch anything he's ever made, I could watch on repeat because he's really funny in the kind of very British way of
he's very popular here as well. Yeah. Okay, Louis Theroux. Question number 4: if you could have dinner with any famous person, who would it be?
Oh, Louis Theroux's
I was about to say.
so-called rival. Jon Ronson, my favorite author. The guy is bloody genius. Amazing, interesting guy. He's written about New World Order stuff. He's written about psychopaths.
I love that stuff. I love those. I like get fully into conspiracy theories about New World Order, God. And I have dived so far down that rabbit hole before. It's embarrassing.
So
Alex
Jones, before he got famous, one of the things he got famous for, it's not really a good, like, really interesting conspiracy theorist, but he got famous for going to Bohemian Grove with Jon Ronson. Jon Ronson kickstarted Alex Jones's career. If you've ever quoted "turning the frogs gay," that's thanks to Jon Ronson.
Wow,
amazing guy. I've been to some of his live shows and he's really funny as well.
Definitely him.
Definitely, he's coming to dinner. I'll force him if I have to.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna have to Google him as well after this because I haven't heard of him before. But anyway. Last random question. If you could only pick 3 foods to eat for an entire month, which would those 3 foods be?
Okay, with a preface, in the UK you can't get good Mexican food. Okay. Mexican food, first off, it doesn't exist here. It's all terrible. I went to Texas and had every single type of Mexican food. Everything else has been a significant disappointment. So, Mexican food, not from the UK.
Okay.
Sushi, love sushi.
Yeah.
It's something there's always like you could have quite a good mixture and not really feel bored of it.
That's true. And you feel healthy after. It's not like when you eat KFC and afterwards you just feel like you want to crawl up and cry. But you always feel great after eating sushi.
And my favorite like comfort food. So that would be my kind of normal rotation. I go for my comfort food, which is probably, I don't know, the most British thing that possibly outside fish and chips, which is beans on toast, but specifically Heinz baked beans with tiny sausages in it on toast. Okay. And that would be my other meal.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's almost like, okay. I thought you were going to say bangers and mash for a second there. I was like, that's pretty English, yeah.
It's one of the things that I think is a quintessential British experience, but not like fish and chips is. It's like growing up British rather than I'm going to the UK, I'm going to have some English food. Okay.
Alrighty. All right, on to the bug bounty related questions. So the first one is, what's a one-liner for how people should get started in bug bounties? I know you've done a video, and I'll put a link below next to this question so that people can find that video. But what's a quick one-line or one-sentence description of how to get started in bug bounties?
4 steps. Learn how the internet works. Requests, how websites work, what is your browser actually doing when it accesses a website. Number 1 thing. Don't have to learn detail, just have to learn the basics.
Right.
Learn how to use Burp or OWASP. Learn what bugs are out there. Learn how to find those bugs and how to exploit them. You can learn like what bugs are out there through my videos or like thousands of resources on the web for like lists of bugs.
Yep.
Then you got to practice real targets, CTFs, whatever you want to do, you got to practice. Yep. Those are my like 4 steps. That's all you need to do. There's no magic bug bounty bullet that's going to teach you everything. That is it. That's it. As soon as you learn that, you're good.
Done. Okay. Question number 2. Is it worthwhile getting into bug hunting?
It depends. Are you somebody who really likes breaking stuff, but is probably not allowed to break things? Do you enjoy having a rush of endorphins and having your entire body shake out of pure excitement and joy? And are you interested in it? And if those apply to you, you should totally get into bug bounties. You know, it's not... A lot of people think that, okay, the pros have it all at the moment. They really don't. There's so many bugs out there still left to be found. The community is absolutely fantastic. And it's really, really fun. If you like breaking stuff, it's so much fun.
It's also, I would throw in that it's also, even if you're like, I would suggest not to get into bug bounties initially for the money. Do it for the learning experience and the community, because that's what's going to keep you going. Basically, you're going to learn so much from doing different bug bounties. So
100%. I did an entire talk on motivation, and actually financial motivation, something like bug bounties, which requires a lot of creativity, a lot of thought, a lot of like technical skill. It just won't keep you motivated for that long, because you'll spend hours finding the first bug, you'll get a dupe, and then you'll want to quit. And actually, that's part of the experience of bug hunting. You fail. And that's part of the experience of learning anything.
I was about to say, that's really pretty much life.
Yeah, it really is. It really is just life.
Yeah. Okay, question number 3. What is your favorite type of bug to find?
To find specifically?
Yeah, I guess. Or to hunt for, I guess.
So I think business logic, because there's so much a business logic error can do. So business logic errors are quite simple. Like, they're basically expected functionality that works. There's nothing wrong with it, but it has this unexpected security outcome, which is, you lose money or reputation, or PPI gets leaked. PII gets leaked.
Yep.
And actually, there's so many different ways to hack into like a business logic error, and it's not that technical at all. It requires much more knowledge on that. How does the app work? What is it doing under the hood? How is it doing it? And I really like that kind of Sherlock style bug bounty hunting, where you're not just running payloads expecting a response, right? You're investigating into the app and going, okay, what does this do? Real
critical thinking. Yeah.
And I really wanted to be Sherlock Holmes. Okay, I wanted to do the cool investigative stuff, and now I'm a hacker, so I don't want to be Moriarty. I want to sit there and solve crimes, and this is the closest thing I've got. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Actually, I think that's a pretty cool bug, actually. Okay. Question number 4, second last one. What are your favorite recon tools, in no specific order, just a list of favorite tools?
So I've only just started doing recon. I am very much a recon noob. So I've been playing recently, just for like videos, using FFUF. I gotta say, my favorite recon tool is Burp. You can do so much with Burp. It is such a powerful tool. And I think a lot of people are tempted to get subdomain enumeration and stuff like that. You don't need it. You can just use Burp. And it's got so many powerful features, and you can totally find bugs there. So I think you could
also like script in Burp with like any one of Tom Nom Nom's amazing scripts. You could rip them all together and make something crazy out of that as well, if you really want to do enumeration stuff. But I agree. Yeah, Burp's probably... I asked Stock the same question, and he went on about Burp for a while, and it was he was very excited about Burp, and I keep hearing that back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool to use like a bunch of tools, and you feel like a hacker in the command line, running scripts. But actually, a lot of the time, bug bounties, as opposed to like doing actual penetration testing, you don't really need to be doing things like Nmap.
Yep.
You don't really need to really be doing subdomain enumeration unless you're working on very specific targets. You don't need the fancy hacker tools. You just need burp.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some advantages. Like, I really like FFUF for beginners.
Yep.
Because it can do what burp can do very quickly, which you need to pay for with burp, which is really great for like beginners because burp is expensive and it's not necessarily worth it. I've been playing with Arjon recently. I have actually forked that to make my own little changes to get it into burp mainly.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Have you done a video on that? I haven't seen it.
It is coming out as we're recording this.
Okay,
tomorrow.
right.
So,
all right.
There's a bunch of stuff on how to do API enumeration because I'm really into API hacking at the moment. I think it's fantastic. Yeah,
I quite actually my first bug that I ever found, it was a dupe, of course, but it was with the API of a networking vendor, basically like a piece of tin, and it was just really. It was really fun. I really enjoyed that one, and sort of my background's more networking focused than anything else. So it was really interesting to find.
Your strengths.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, I went into it and I was thinking, what am I going to be able to actually find here? And I had that mystified, I guess, judgment of everyone's already found everything. So, it doesn't matter what I look for. So I thought, I'll just find something that I potentially will be good at. So that was basically my thought process going into it.
My first bug was on a Uber app on one of their APIs.
Wow.
And I think I've told this story before on many people. Apologize, it's not the first time telling the story.
Okay.
But at live hacking events, you have the customer there.
Yep.
Like in person. So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting with my mentor because this is a mentee program. And I'm like, I found something here. He's like, okay. We're not sure, and because it's my first bug, we're not necessarily sure that I've not messed something up, basically. Yep. So we go speak to the guy from Uber, and the guy from Uber comes over and goes, thought we fixed that one. Which is
You're like,
the best sign you've ever got for a bug. And it's like, someone's reported it. It's not a dupe because I've somehow bypassed it doing something.
Oh my God.
That was crazy. An amazing experience.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That would have been some real feel-good moment.
At the very end, so we went like literally to the wire because we were trying to basically make the bug a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because it was, it needed like some extra exploitation in there. And of course, I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're sitting there doing it, going to like the wire, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes to go. And my hands are shaking so badly because I've got 2 bugs at this point. And I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, Cody, I can't write the report. What do I write? I don't know what to write.
Oh, God.
And he writes the report for me. And he goes, right, I'm going to go have a cigarette. That was too stressful. We're both just super stressed for the whole thing. Oh, my God. It was crazy.
Bloody hell. All right. Last question on the list is, what is a typical day in the life of a bug bounty hunter like for yourself?
For me specifically, or for any like
I guess anyone,
bug bounty hunting or my life, because they're very different things.
Yeah, we'll go with bug hunting.
So if I'm spending a day bug hunting, I really like to get up kind of at a reasonable time, like in the morning, like I would get up for work, and I really treat it like a job.
Yep.
So I get up, I sit down, make myself a coffee. I already generally have an idea of what I'm going to hack. If I'm not really sure, I'll maybe go browse some programs, but for the most part, I'm working on something. I know what I'm working on. So I get it up, and primarily it's just, first half of my day tends to be kind of finding leads.
Yep.
So it's maybe doing a bit of enumeration. It's maybe doing a bit of kind of mental filtering, if you like. This endpoint is useful, this endpoint isn't useful.
Yep.
Tend to have some lunch, tends to be like a sandwich.
Yep.
Then come back in the afternoon, and it's really the afternoon where I'm like, okay, I've eaten, have another coffee, I'm ready. And then that's when I start, taking all the leads I've got and actually working through each one and being like, okay, this one, do I think it's an idle? Do I think it's vulnerable to idle? I'll check it. No, I cross that one off the list, go down. I literally work from checklists of just check it. For a few different vulnerabilities, I usually note it down. I've talked about it before in my API hacking video of how I use a spreadsheet to do it. I've kind of changed my methodology now. I tend to just use Notion for everything. but it's essentially check it, cross it off, check it, cross it off. And then I'd stop at like 5 p.m. and like go spend time with my partner. I go do like some knitting. I do stuff that's not hacking.
Yeah.
Because if I find I get stuck, that time is the most productive time in my day. When I'm not hacking, I have all the ideas and I might just quickly jot them down, or I might try them if I'm feeling like, basically, if we're not really doing very much and I've actually got the time, I might sit on my laptop with my partner, watch TV, and then I'll just sit and do some hacking.
Yep.
So really, it's kind of, I don't do it intensely. I think other people are much more kind of full on with theirs. I'm much more, it's a 9-to-5 job. I do it occasionally, or mainly it's weekends for me.
Yep.
Rather than doing it during the week. During the week is mainly work and video prep. I do quite a lot of research for videos.
Yeah. There's quite a bit that goes into them. That's interesting. Okay, so with that checklist, is that one that you sort of made yourself, or is it like a accumulation of other lists that you found, or a bit of both maybe?
So it's very much based on the way Space Raccoon does his stuff. I got to admit, I completely stole the baseline for it, because he also does a lot of the same kind of stuff I do, especially with manual idle hunting is particularly what I stole. Okay. But I will have a list of endpoints that I really want to check. I'll do the kind of endpoint hunting first.
Yep.
Just because I think it's easier, especially the way I do kind of bug hunting, which is click every single button.
It works to filter it down a little bit as well by doing it that way.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing. I might do a kind of litmus test, especially if it's on like XSS.
Yep. So
I'll put in a payload, what gets filtered. I got a really interesting bug kind of recently where I put in the XSS payload and it was getting filtered in a really weird way. I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. And I looked into how it was working. And because I was basically putting it in as if it was HTML, but actually it was being injected as JavaScript. Yep. Very bizarre bug.
That's interesting, I
hadn't seen that kind of bug before. Not with being injected directly into JavaScript. I think because that's probably not the best practice.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who had that thought process to make it go like that. But that's, this is
probably a very stressed developer who got told to make it work.
Under the pump, and they said, just make it work however you can. He said, okay. Well,
so for something like that, I don't tend to I kind of go for all that lead very quickly because I'd want to do like very quick tests on it essentially.
Yep.
Just to kind of rule out, especially if it's XSS, you get really complex payloads. I just can't be bothered.
Fair enough.
But yeah, with my checklist, it's mainly just the kind of bugs I hunt for the most. So it's business logic. Quite a lot of it is kind of connecting endpoints to business logic. So if I'm going through like an e-commerce website, add to cart, and then the endpoint, then it will be buy endpoint, then it will be shipping info endpoint. And so I'm kind of building up the kind of workflow of how their system works.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then from that, I'm then going, okay, do I see an ID?
Yeah, this is what I've got. This is what I'll look for. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's a good approach.
It's not necessarily the same approach other people use. I think other people tend to follow leads a lot quicker. But I really like to just pick them all up and start.
Yeah, everyone's got their own style, so it's
it's super interesting when you listen to people talk about how they bug hunt, and you just like, before I'd spoken, I think I'd actually seen it from Space Raccoon. I don't think I spoke to him about it. I saw one of his checklists and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that. Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I had for you. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you and finally getting this video going. I hope to do another one with you sometime in the future, and I'll put a link in the description for your channel and a couple of different videos that you referenced in this one. So thanks for coming on.
No, but my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's super nice to sit down and chat with a fellow creator, and I don't see anybody in the kind of cybersecurity video space as a competitor. I think we're all collaborators, really.
I think so. Yeah,
we all work together.
Yeah, I like to claim that I'm the first cybersecurity Australian YouTuber. So I'll keep claiming that, but I'm sure.
Yeah, go for that. Go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
If anybody asks me, I'll tell them it's you.
Thank you. Yeah, keep the rep going. Awesome. Anyway, yeah, thanks for having a chat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
There we go. This is good.
That's perfect. Yeah. Oh my God, I need that.